In the iconic 90s TV show Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw, the heroine who also writes supposedly writes this column, is exploring her love life in New York, and she's on a quest for love, and the whole series is really about a quest. Well, that actress, of course, has Venus in Aries, Sarah Jessica Parker. And I feel that actually there's something about that quest in Sex and the City which very much summarizes a certain aspect of Venus in Aries, which is this idea of seeing love as a quest, or love as a hunt, or love as something, and also to be very interested at the beginnings of things, the beginning of love. Well, we're just about to go into Venus in Aries season, which starts on the 21st of March and continues until the 14th of April, because Venus is moving really fast at the moment. So she's rocketing through Aries, the first sign of the Zodiac. So this is a time for initiating love stuff, but also art, beauty, all those things. Especially for Aries, it's really, really important, especially for Libra. This is really important. It's in your opposite sign. It's in your relationship sign. And there's this kind of forward thrust with Venus in Aries, which I quite like. I just wanted to point out now, Venus in Aries has got a mixed reputation. Of course, our esteemed ancestors in astrology didn't like it because this is the sign of femininity in the most masculine sign. But I think that we can recast that for the 21st century, which is that Venus in Aries gives you a kind of heat, gives your romantic nature a kind of heat. It's also really interesting, and I love Venus in Aries because it's fantastic for the arts. You come across a lot of artists who have Venus in Aries because they're pioneering, they're doing something different. You have to have a lot of self-belief, belief in your artistic message, which you get with Venus in Aries, hopefully. So I'm just listing Cy Twombly, Willem de Kooning, Anish Kapoor, Goya, Vivienne Westwood. These are all artists with Venus in Aries who've done something pioneering. I mean, you can spot a Cy Twombly from a mile off, or a Vivienne Westwood dress. These are very distinctive, unique, original, this sign. Also, I just want to point out, and I think it's really interesting, that a lot of icons, literally iconic figures, like whose faces we know, or whose faces are printed on T-shirts a lot of those icons have got Venus in Aries, like Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, Liz Taylor, all whose faces became iconic. Bob Marley, Einstein, also Venus in Aries, which I think is really funny. You know, that picture of him with his tongue sticking out. So why do I say that's particular to Venus in Aries? It's because Aries rules the head, rules the face. So you can have a lot of, it's potentially gives you some beauty, or at least attractiveness. And I would say that Marilyn Monroe and Rihanna and Liz Taylor and Audrey Hepburn are iconic beauties. So what's coming up now is that, like I said, it's very important for Aries and Libra, this very short period with Libra and with Venus and Aries, but it's important for everybody that the Sun and Venus make a conjunction on 26th of March, which is always a lucky day in the year. Now, this is particularly lucky if you happen to be, say, a Cancer, right? It's really lucky for your career. Or Capricorn, very lucky for your home life. But actually, also, I quite like it for Sagittarians. It's romantic. It's playful. And it's pretty good for everybody. So if you want to do something that needs a lot of positive energy behind it, this is the time. And it's also, because it's in Aries, this is the sign of launching things, of beginning stuff, of new stuff, of actually, and what I love about Aries is that they're really willing to take a risk, So, and this fits for everyone. So it'll be somewhere in your chart. If taking a risk on love, or taking a risk on art, taking a risk on the things of the beautiful things. Aries this month is very close to the Sun most of the time, which again, it gives this month a little bit of a lucky glow. I'm hoping that the weather improves. It's disgusting out there at the moment. She's going to make a conjunction on the 28th of March with Chiron, the wounded healer, also in Aries. So this can bring some focus onto either wounding, healing, and it may be to do with the wounding of the feminine, because we're having a lot of conversations again about dangerous, the dangers of being a woman, which I think fits also with this Venus in Aries energy. On the 3rd of April, she makes a conjunction with Ceres, the goddess of abundance, but also of fertility. So I would suggest that's quite excellent if you're trying to get pregnant. For the signs mentioned above, particularly Sagittarius, I think. But also if you're trying to sort of bring forth some kind of abundance, some artistic thing, some expression of, social consciousness, like sharing. I'm just thinking of food banks and things like that. And then on the 12th of April, there's this new moon, she's completely kind of bundled up with the new moon. Also in Aries, of course. So this fiery new moon, which has got this sense of, it does have a sense of an ending though within it. Why? Because she's making this exact square to Pluto, the god of the underworld. So she's making an exact hard aspect to that Pluto. This is a good time, I would say, for burying something, actually, for burying some romantic endeavor that hasn't worked, or for stopping something in its tracks. But very next moment, the next hour after the new moon, is time to begin something new again. So there's this feeling of this difficult square happening, and then a sort of flush forward into a more beautiful future. The Venus contacts to Pluto, the god of the underworld, can be very sexy, okay? And also I think Venus, Sex and the City, I started off talking about that. There's something sexy about Venus in Aries, and obviously Marilyn Monroe, biggest sex symbol of the 20th century. Of course she had Venus in Aries, because it's straight to the point, So where was I going with that? Oh, Pluto. Pluto also quite a sexy planet, right? So when these two are making contacts, there's stuff happening there with, which may be stuff that comes out. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, and it's about power issues. So there may be some kind of power struggle around that, the new moon. Okay, so in sum, Venus in Aries, love it. The arrows of Eros, or arrows of Cupid, and enjoy. Feels enthusiastic. I suppose that's the other thing I'd say. There's a burst of enthusiasm. This applies, may I say, also to those of us ruled by Venus. So that's if you have Libra or Taurus rising, or if you are a Libra or Taurus sun, you will feel this positive burst of energy, as well as your own personal planet is moving along with the sun. I've been talking very quickly, haven't I? Well, that's very Venus in Aries, getting to the point. Okay, see you next time.